I have a new insight into what it's like to have an invisible illness, really, and how hard people who have invisible illnesses have to fight, have to advocate, have to when they're poorly. So I have a lot of insights now. It has taxed me. It has challenged my personal strength. It's challenged my relationship with myself, with my family, with mortality, with um, resilience and perseverance and fighting and I think it's interesting. I think there have been some blessings in this truly horrific experience. um, I I certainly live life differently, and I think in a way I wouldn't wish that away. You know, I am quite appreciative of the lessons, but it has been awful, a really, really terrible time. A year of my life that is gone, you know, and my quality of life thankfully has kind of improved. I have been able to get some semblance of quality of life back, but there were, you know, many, many dark moments through this last year, and many times where I thought I would never be able to be a productive member of society again, you know, from being quite high functioning and loving my work and being, you know, very much an active and involved in family life, and to, you know, not being able to lift my head or thinking that I was going to die many times over. It was a very isolating experience. So exclusive club in that many people don't believe, maybe at first, you know, that you are experiencing it, but once you meet other people who are in it and who validate that experience and say, well, this is real. um, yeah, it's isolating, and yet it's also, there's a lot of camaraderie. I have some really great lifelong friends. I'm trying to think of what happened then. I sort of recovered. I mean, the breathing was really quite terrible. I had to sit on the floor and with the windows wide open because I just couldn't get any air in. And I remember calling for help and being told that, you know, or being asked if my lips were purple or blue, but I have brown skin, so my lips are not, you know, so it was a bit of a biased question, but essentially being told I was better off at home. And I actually believe I probably was. I could have used some oxygen, most definitely, but I probably, you know, I was really lucky that I was able to survive it, because at times I wasn't sure I was going to at home, because I don't know about viral load in hospital. Terrifying time though, because when even I just feared the night so much. I feared going to bed because I just didn't know if I would continue to breathe when I was asleep. Um, I have made huge progress since kind of November, December time. I'd say I'm 88, 90% there. I don't tend, I'll touch wood now, I don't tend to get really large relapses. I might get short ones occasionally. You know, I jogged the other day for the first time in a very long time, and I managed it. I have to watch though. I still have to watch. It's always kind of there. And if I overdo it, if I ever convince myself that I'm back to me, it reminds me you're not there yet. I personally think I needed, at the time, one person, coordinated support. Every time I had to call the GP, if I got through, and this is with all these new symptoms coming, and, you know, quite serious symptoms, and a lot of reports of blood clotting, and, you know, I'm thinking, do I take baby aspirin, you know, all this kind of stuff. And you know, it was often poo-pooed and often shoved in that kind of post-viral pile. But this isn't normal post-viral. There are some complications with COVID that are not what you'd see in a lot of other post-viral conditions. So I had to, once I got through to the doctor, usually it was one of 10. I'd usually have to start my story from the beginning and maybe even convince them. And even when we were coming on to sick lines, having to convince the person that I was not well enough. And really, I think that's, again, because the NHS is so overtaxed and GPs are so overtaxed, but that would make a huge, like, coordinated support.